Hi, it's nice to meet you, Elizabeth Coyle, public failure. So, today I thought we would have a little chat about this fifth novel that I have been querying. I have queried, unsuccessfully, 4 previous novels, and now this fifth novel. I started querying this novel about 2 years ago, and I have received about 90 rejections. I queried it for about a year. It's been almost a year since I sent any queries for it, because I've been working on writing my 6th novel, and I'm now on the second draft of my 6th novel. But what usually happens, what has happened in the past with all of the other novels I have queried, is I get to a point either where I get so much feedback back where I realize the story is not at the point, not anywhere near close to the point where I actually envision it to be, so I stop querying, or I lose my verve for the story and I start realizing, maybe this story is just kind of lacking to something, And then I stop querying, and that has always happened in the past, with the previous 4 novels. With this 5th novel, even after 90 rejections, I have not gotten to that point yet. So, after nearly a year of not querying it, 90 rejections ago, I am going to begin querying again. And I think I'm going to query until A, I stop finding people I can query it to, or B, I finish my 6th novel and begin querying that one. So, I've spent the last couple of days researching literary agents, and I have found 6 new agents that I can submit to. I've been working on my query package, updating it. So, out of the 90 rejections, I had 20 full requests, including 2 partial requests that turned into full requests, and then all ultimately ended in rejection. But that is the highest request to query ratio that I have ever had. I think it's like a 22% request rate. I don't know what's considered good. But that was the best I've ever had. Previously, on any of the books I had ever queried, the highest full request response that I had ever gotten was 3. Not 3%, just 3. 3 measly little requests. But this novel, I got 20. And it's not like a consistent number because it's not like I sent all 90 out at once. It happened slowly over the course of a year, and I was getting feedback and including the feedback, and I also changed my pitch package quite significantly throughout that time, and the queries I sent towards the end of that time got a much higher request rate than the queries I sent towards the beginning because my query was better. If you're in the game, you know what I'm saying. So, and I have been feeling for a long time that it's all just failure, just nothing but failure. I see all these writers and they're publishing a book a year, and they started writing 18 months ago and they've already got 1 book out and another book in the works, and I'm like, wow, I wish that was my life. But it's not my life, and I don't think that means that I'm just, constantly failing. I haven't gotten there yet, and I feel like I can get there. And this novel that I've been querying for so long, I still really love, and when I read it, I don't start skimming, I'm not bored, even though I obviously know what happens, I've read every word, I've got it memorized, but I still really like it. It still feels like a true representation of me as a writer. So I'm gonna keep querying, what's the worst that they can say? No, we hate you, please never submit here again. It'll be fine. So that's my goal. I have 6. I have long passed the list of agents that will send a rejection, so I'm now only querying agents that just a no response means no, which is fine. So I'm gonna send probably these 6 and then wait 8 weeks and then maybe research again, see if I can find anybody else to submit to, and then just keep doing that until I either run out of agents or I finish my 6th novel and begin querying that one. Because I'm just not ready to give up on this novel. And I don't know what that means. Am I just delusional? Maybe. But maybe you gotta be a little bit delusional to be a writer. And I don't, does it mean that I'm not nearly as good of a writer as all these other people who query and get publishing deals very, very fast? Maybe. Again, I don't know. But I am tenacious, and I can't quit. I'm not gonna quit. I feel like someday this book will find its audience, or a book of mine will find its audience, but no book of mine will find its audience if I stop submitting. So, I know publishing is in chaos right now. I'm telling myself, maybe that's why my book keeps getting rejected. And because what happens is, usually if you submit to an agent that sends rejections, you'll get a form rejection. But if they request to read the rest of your manuscript, they'll give you feedback. And so in the beginning, when I was getting some requests, I was getting a lot of feedback, very good actionable feedback that I could take into consideration. Then I got to revise and resubmit, so I revised the entire novel, very good feedback, very big changes, ultimately ended in rejection, But since then, I have gotten a lot of full requests that end in rejection, and the rejection just says, we love this, but it's not for us. So I feel like somewhere out there, there is a person that wants this book. And I just gotta keep searching for him. Plus, since the end of my revise and resubmit that ended in rejection, I put that book aside for a long time because I was just very, very sad, and I was like, oh well, here's another one for the recycling bin. And I've been working on my 6th novel, but I have since returned to that novel, post revise and resubmit, and pulled out a troublesome subplot that I had just left in there because I loved it, and even though I knew it didn't fit, I left it in there, and I have since now removed it. I've killed my darlings, and then I inserted a new subplot. And so the book is stronger now than it was even after my revise and resubmit. You know, that's what I'm telling myself. It feels true. I don't know. And so I'm gonna keep doing it, and maybe I'm crazy, and maybe you'll be like, just give up, you're only hurting yourself. But you know, that's true, I am only hurting myself. So I gotta keep trying. I'm gonna keep submitting until I run out of places to submit to, or I finish my 6th novel and begin submitting them. Someday, I will find my audience. I haven't found them yet, but I will someday. I promise. See, here's the thing about rejection. The more you talk about it, the less shameful it becomes. Because I know out there will be people that will be like, if you're not getting acceptances, it means you're not writing well enough yet. You know, the book's just not good enough. And maybe that is true, but that's also the mindset I had for the first many, many years of my writing submitting journey. And all it did was build up this big ball of shame inside of me, where I was like, I'm never going to be good enough. I try, and I just keep failing. But I have shifted my mindset slightly away from that, and I think, you know, the trying is part of the journey. So all this failure, it doesn't mean I'm a bad writer necessarily. It just means I haven't gotten there yet, but I will get there. I just have to keep trying. I'll never get there if I stop trying. So, you know, after hundreds of rejections over many, many years, I feel a lot less shame in the rejection. Kind of just feels kind of part of it, you know? I think I've shifted my focus away from the end goal of publishing the book to being, I'm on a journey, a publishing journey. My publishing journey is a heck of a lot longer than a lot of people's publishing journeys, but that doesn't make it wrong or less good. I have to believe that. In order to keep going, I have to believe that. And the book that I'm submitting now, you know, has the same title and premise, but the story, the words, the scenes are all vastly different than the book I was submitting in the beginning, because I made that fatal error of submitting it before I had gotten proper feedback. I'd only gotten feedback on the first couple of chapters. And, you know, through submitting and getting requests and getting rejections, you get a lot of high quality industry feedback on your work. And so my book has just really grown so much, and it still feels so alive to me, which is just rare. You know, all of the other books, when I've been submitting them after, you know, a few dozen rejections, you get to the point where you're like, you know, every time I look at this, I just feel cringy, and like I don't want to look at it anymore because it's just bad, and I know it's bad, and people are out there reading it, and it's bad. But I don't feel that about this novel. This novel still feels true to me, and that feels... it feels like something. It means something. I don't know what it means, but it means something. So that's where I am with this novel. I'm not ready to give up. I'm not going to give up, you know, until I'm ready to start submitting my 6th novel, and then I'll give up. So for anybody else out there who's in a long, long journey of failure, maybe it's the journey that counts and not the ultimate end goal of success. I just have to believe that we'll get there. If we keep trying, we'll get there. You know, Albert Einstein said, I didn't fail. I found, 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. Or 1,000, I can't remember. Einstein was good at things. It probably didn't take him 10,000 tries. But, so, I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways not to write a novel. But we will get there. You will see. You will see someday. I'll get published. And yes, I'm still sick. I know I'm sick. Apparently this is just my voice now. Congestion. I don't know what I can do about it. I gotta keep moving on. I don't know. I thought about just not making videos until I sounded normal, but then I was like, well, what if this is just my voice now? You know?